All right, higher. Tom Brady, quarterback, going against Buffalo. Man, I feel like we should talk about that Buffalo Patriots game at some point, but maybe we don't have time to do that. You got him as your QB4, 3 spots above the experts. You also like Kirk Cousins against Pittsburgh. I don't know about that one. You got him as your QB10, 2 spots above the experts.
Yeah, I always like to talk about the games that we have on par for the night. If I like the players, just to give you guys, I know a lot of you guys are here wondering, should I sit or start some of these guys? And we'll start with Cousins because he is the one playing tonight. We have that awful secondary. No Joe Hayden for the Steelers. They've been getting routinely roasted right now.
Yeah.
And I think Kirk Cousins, fresh off, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, he's kind of cooking. I know real life wise, I would never want him as my quarterback. He just never seems to get it done when you need him. But fantasy-wise, he's been pretty damn solid over these last few weeks. 22, 17, 25, 17, and 20. Like a 17-point floor with plus 20 and 3 of his last 5. I'm all set with that. That's solid to me. His lowest performance has been the QB 13 across these last few games. And again, this banged up Pittsburgh secondary, he can certainly get it done with. I mean, and this is more so about Justin Jefferson than anything. That guy is just a monster. And I think, all ships rise with him. I think Kirk Cousins, that Justin Jefferson could lug this guy to high-end QB1 status this week. And then Tom Brady. The only reason I thought it was worth including him is I get a ton of questions about him so far this week. So QB4 up to QB4 in my rankings. I think that game, Buffalo's defense, the second hardest matchups for QBs, right? Well, they lost Tre'Davious White. We really haven't seen that defense without him because last week was against the Pats and we just pounded their ass. It was awesome. Loved that game so much. It was so much fun to watch.
It was awesome.
It wasn't that we were texting the whole time, just like old school, that was just a couple.
It was such a whip out your dick move from Belichick.
It was awesome. Just whipped it out and just chuckled in his face. McDermott crying after the game. We shouldn't give Belichick too much credit here. Shut the we digress. You guys aren't here for my just absolutely obnoxious Patriots fanhood here. But I do think Brady, despite the quote-unquote tough matchup, that's when Brady's at his best. He'll find where you can dissect these guys with no Tre'Davious White. There's going to be some corner that's forced in there. And whether that's the guy guarding Scotty Miller or whoever it is, Brady will find it and he will pepper them religiously. So I think he's going to get it done. The fact that offense should put up their own points, the Bills, after that embarrassing display, they'll come up fired out as well. I think this game's going to go for about 65, 70 total points at least. And that means Tom Brady has been doing his job and killing it. So no more questions about him, please. I'm getting and some of them are fair, like Brady versus Lamar, Brady versus Taysom, guys that do have some upside. Sure. It's Brady. It's Brady, and it's Brady again. He's my QB. I actually have him at QB4 on this list. I'm bumping him ahead of Dak Prescott, ahead of Rodgers. I think that game is going to be a blast, and I think Brady's going to have a huge day as part of it.
All right, well, good news. We did get a super chat. Chris India says, if you're going to twist my arm, send that gross IPA back, Wolfie. Also, Christian Kirk or Manny Sanders. My receiver situation is in shambles. Not much else available to stream. It's true. Waivers.
I only said it because I didn't think he was tuned in tonight. I thought he's tuned in. Well, he's here. This is going to be bad. I might have to run to the bathroom, Nat, after this one. But we'll do our best. I do want to get rid of this.
He's giving you $10.
Oh, cheers, man. All right, fine. I expected like a $2 super chat.
No. $10. Come on.
$10 for every percent that's going down into my body right now.
Right.
Thank you, Chris, for the support. It means a lot.
And good job. You looked more like Tom Brady than Aaron Rodgers chugging that. Now you look like Aaron Rodgers even more.
Yeah. Don't speak too soon until it comes up on my laptop and the show ends right here. Oh,
I'll do a little improv. All right. Anyway, lower. We're just going to get right back into things and pretend that didn't happen.
Christian Kirk, let's answer that
one.
Oh, yeah,
answer his question.
Christian Kirk or Manny Sanders. Thanks again for the support, Christopher. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. They're both very boom or bust. But Manny Sanders really has done nothing across 6 straight weeks. Seems to me like he's been completely phased out at this point. You got the Monday night hope factor with Christian. I know this is gonna come up. This is gonna come up.
You look like you have the sweats.
Yeah. I'm swallowing it back every second here. But I'm not letting that cloud my judgment here. I do think Christian Kirk, yes, they're both boom or bust, but I think he's due. That game against the Monday night hope factor, you like that. And also Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be locked onto DeAndre Hopkins. Those two always love to battle against each other, and that will leave some secondary coverage for Christian Kirk. So I personally go Kirk. I can't go back to Manny Sanders after
No.
how bad he's been these last few weeks. You feel any differently, Truth?
No, I agree completely.
Ugh.
All right,
Thanks
let's
again,
go.
Chris.
Yeah, thanks. Lower.
Oh,
Lamar,
alrighty.
we talked about Lamar a little bit, going at Cleveland, QB7, 3 below the experts. Also, Pat Mahomes against Vegas, QB8, 2 below the experts.
Man. All right. Getting back to my place here. All righty. Lamar Jackson, just to reiterate what this guy has been doing these last few weeks, 16, 13, and 19, QB 10, 17, 11. Now, yes, those aren't horrendous numbers, 10 and 11, 17. They're okay, but he's routinely ranked in the top 4 quarterbacks. And at this point, I don't buy it. I'm not seeing it. You just judge by your eyeballs. He doesn't look good at all. And garbage time has really saved his ass these last couple of weeks, too. He had like 10 points going into the last drive, and then he had some nice scrambles and did some damage in the last drive. But if you ended that game, if like one turnover happened, he would have probably been the QB 25. And this is like nobody would have him in their top 4 anymore. So I am worried about him. He has not looked that good at all. He had 13 points the last time he faced Cleveland. They seem to know how to defend him. The NFL seems to be figuring this guy out. As soon as I'm down on him, I'm sure he's going to get like 34 plus. But I've been down on him the past couple of weeks, and it's panned out. So if you're on the fence of like Lamar or another fringe QB1, if you're thinking Taysom or Lamar, you might want to go with the guy facing the Jets at this point. That's where I'm kind of leaning. I'm lower on him. And then Pat Mahomes. I just want to keep bringing this one up. The only good game he's had, this is the one risk with ranking him low. Of his last 6 games, he's had one good game, and it was against the Raiders.
And it was a huge game.
And it was 36 points. So this is the team he had his one good game in the last 6 weeks. But again, one good game in the last 6 weeks. 9, 15, 10, 36, 9, 14. Outside of your top 17 quarterbacks and all but that one explosion. He was the QB1 that week. Again, came against the Raiders. So could he blow up? Of course he could. But man, he has been bad. Michael Schneider was talking to me on one of our shows. He said he hate cut Mahomes at one point, and his team has been like 5-0 since. So he got the presence out of his locker room.
Wow.
And his team's been killing it. Ballsy move to cut Mahomes, by the way. But it's panned out for the guy. So yeah, I'm lower on Mahomes. I'm lower on Lamar. If you have a Taysom Hill, I would go him over these guys.
Well, we're going to talk about Taysom Hill. We don't need to talk to him too much because we've already talked about him a lot. Yeah. But he's your number 1 Hail Mary guy. Doesn't technically count. You've got him as your QB9. He's 45% rostered, so he's not exactly a Hail Mary. But the upside is clear. The argument is a good one. You also kind of like Cam Newton going against the Falcons, 31% owned, and Big Ben against Minnesota, 22% owned. I mean, okay.
We'll start with the grossest one there, Big Ben. They did seem to get clicking towards the end. Those last couple drives for Ben, they went a little bit, they call it the quote-unquote muddle huddle, and he was orchestrating the offense like it was Big Ben of old. And very loosely, not Big Ben that can move around the pocket and dodge defenders. No, that Big Ben is long gone.
No,
but he threw a couple nice balls. He had a great pass to Deontay numerous occasions, and that's part of it too. He's got such good weapons that this guy at any given moment, his receivers can do so much damage that they lift him up. Just like we were talking about Kirk Cousins and Jefferson, just lifting him and vaulting him to an elite QB1 these last few weeks. That can happen with the weapons that Big Ben has. Minnesota's given up the most points to wide receivers, the 9th most points to QBs. I think Big Ben is tonight. If you're desperate for a stream, could truly get it done as they talk about getting more muddle huddle going. The kind of the farewell tour for Big Ben. It seems to me like they're going to just throw it till the arm falls off. And it might fall off quickly given how horrendous he is. But man, could be solid. I would, of course, prefer Cam Newton. And that's kind of crazy. 5 of 21 with one of the worst.
It was one of the worst football games I've ever seen a quarterback play. Really,
it couldn't be much worse. But I will say this, Miami, since their bye, is first in interceptions and second in sacks. That defense truly has turned it around. No quarterback has done anything against them.
You know what? That's a good point. Miami's defense is great. And at the same time, has anyone put up a stat line like that against them?
No.
No. I mean, he's like, you can say, oh, they've been great. But in fairness, he's been the worst guy that has gone against them.
For sure. There's
like, no question.
No question about that. That was the worst, probably the worst quarterback performance we'll see all year.
Sure.
And enter Mike Glennon. Hold my beer. He's coming in this Sunday.
Right. Here we go.
Or whoever's playing for the Giants. We can top that. But still, the leg points. That's why you're playing him, just like you're playing Taysom Hill. He's facing Atlanta, the 2nd most points to QBs. I think he can get right back on track. Don't forget, just 2 weeks ago, Cam Newton did have 26 against Washington, who's been playing better defense as of late. I think he could definitely go for 25 plus, scoring you a touchdown or two on the ground, throwing one or two to DJ Moore, whoever. Oh, God. Yes, but that I'm puking, whether it's the IPA, whether it's talking about Cam Newton having a big day, something's going to come up. But still, I do think Cam Newton could have himself a solid day if you're looking for a streamer. But Big Ben, if he's not out there, could also have a good night tonight.
Couple must watches. Justin Fields' return. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a must watch. You're right, but it's kind of like watching a car crash,
a train wreck.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like watching like a NASCAR or like IndyCar Formula One race, where it's like you're watching, but you're kind of secretly hoping that it's going to be a train.
You know what you want,
right? And also, you got Russell Wilson ascending. Well, he can't descend much. So yeah, sure. I suppose the only way to go is up for this guy right now. And also the Stafford Murray shootout. I would love to see that. I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to be the shootout that it could be. I would love nothing more. I just don't see it happening.
You're really down on these Rams, huh?
Well, I mean, the Rams, if you recall, when the Rams first hit a real speed bump this year, it's when they played the Cardinals. And they really got beat up on it. It kind of exposed them. It was a precursor into stuff that was coming. I haven't loved what I've seen from the Rams, to be honest. Like their defense, I think their defense will contribute to this being a shootout because their defense sucks balls. But Stafford, I think Stafford's hurt. I think he's been hurt for like a month. I think it's going to be one of those things where at the end of the year, like he reveals he has like broken ribs or a cracked throwing hand or something like that. He doesn't look right to me. And I haven't loved their game plan, to be honest. I actually feel like they're going to Cup too little. I mean, he's such a straw. He really is. They're going to him at the end. They're not even really doing anything in the first half with him. I feel like they're trying to force balls into OBJ and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. I honestly I'm a little bit more bullish on the Rams keeping this competitive. I think I always just have visions of, I don't know if you remember it back in the day when like the Chiefs and Rams had that Monday night game where it was like, that was one of the best fucking random Monday nights of
amazing.
all time, right?
And think about how crazy it was that Jared Goff was one half of that shootout.
Exactly, right? Goff had 6 times. It was insane. That game, and I just always think, like, could we get that again? And we've had some of those games before. And I'm hoping that's what happens. But I think that's why this is much watched, too, is like, can Stafford go on the gas pedal? Because I think at this point, there's no doubt Murray's going to put up his points. Like, that's going to happen, given how good he looked. I'm intrigued to see how Stafford looks. Is he healthy? Can he play through whatever these injuries are? Can he keep pace with the big boys in the NFL right now? It's easy to use the punching bag of the Jags and have a good game. Can you do it against a legit team right now? And then Russell Wilson, the opposite end of that is Russell Wilson gets a punching bag. Houston, can he use that to vault himself back into QB1 range? He does have 19 and 18 in his last couple of games. He's been a fringe QB1. As bad as it's kind of looked if you watch the games, he's actually put up okay stats. And even last week, he had one drop pass that turned into an interception that like his stats would have been that much better if that hadn't have happened. So it looked to me like he is finally getting right. And this could be one of those games where Russ just has like 5 touchdowns and goes nuts. I don't know.
It could, but when it's 10-6, like halfway through the fourth quarter, you're going to be like, I should have known.
It really could as well. Very, very possible as well. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.